But you also did say that in terms of information management from top down, there should be some sort of regular briefing about the activities of these lads. Because if they get it, what about sharing information about government agencies or security agencies? You think they're doing enough of that?
Well, not enough. I mean, they could share with the media some information and say, well, this is for your consumption. That will give us background as to, how we handle information, how we work. I mean, the media is supposed to be stakeholders in the society. And if you're a stakeholder in the society, you want to see the society succeed.
But how can the media be an effective stakeholder when the media, staying with the issue of information sharing, the media hardly gets any information. There's no central data bank. The different ministries, you can never get figures or statistics or anything, more or less. So how can the media be an effective stakeholder, especially with regards to...
You're a stakeholder to the extent that you live in this society. You want to see the society succeed. But you have to work based on material that you can access. And if you access the material, you use it. The media also has a sense of responsibility. We just don't publish anything. We also know the consequences of what we publish.
That's the area I really would want to take you up on, because sometimes you get to see, just in case there's a slip on the side of the security operatives, maybe in granting an interview or press releases, some form of vital information that they ordinarily shouldn't have given out, that I would want to call some kind of slip. Isn't it in our own, as our duty rather, to not to publish same or to divulge same? For instance, you pick up a daily and they tell you, well, SSS, blah blah blah, will tighten security around this place and all that, because they understand that something, or manhunt for Boko Haram people around so and all that. Those kind of information.
It's necessary because people, there are civilians around those areas too. So they need to know that something is afoot.
Because some would argue that, well, as soon as the bad guys know that, the security operatives are closing in on them, they just, wouldn't come close to that area.
Yeah, it's a delicate issue. It depends on if such a thing is going on, they could let the media know that, look, this is what we are doing. Keep it to yourself. We'll let you know how far we have gone. It's very important. But if you are mounting security everywhere, it's no longer secret.
Because some of them actually say that if they inundate the media, if the media keeps publishing all of this, you might just alarm the society or the country. The
society is already alarmed
to a bigger level than it is already.
The society is already alarmed. I mean, how more alarmed can we be? Now it's in Lagos, in the Delta, it's everywhere. In Abuja, everybody's stepping up security. Securities have been stepped up in the airports, on the roads, even on cell phones. I'll start even you can't go to your suya spot again.
So it doesn't look like. Well, actually, it's not a Boko Haram affair. It's a state of security. What about Jos? So we haven't even talked about Jos. Well, we just saw that this special task force has just been changed.
Yes.
You think that would amount to some kind of
that is
great development in that regard?
That is to be seen. How many times have they changed security, the security situation security apparatus in Jos? They've changed it several times. I mean, but nothing has changed because they have not addressed the fundamental issue of the elite, the political elite, who are on both sides, who are fueling this rage in Jos.
Now we'll bring it back to the media. Those heaps and piles of reports from different committees, how can the media make the government open those books and make them known to the public? Because it seems that some people know what exactly is happening, but they have refused to say.
It's lack of political courage. The media has done well in case of Jos. I mean, we've reported most of the things that are happening. We've even over-analyzed what is happening in Jos. And the situation still arises that there is strong mutual suspicion down the line because the elite, the political elite, who have been behind this thing, have not been brought to book. I mean, they've arrested people over people over people over people. I mean, you should get enough intelligence to know, to trace who are the people behind this act of violence. It's very important. It's lack of political courage on the part of the presidency that this has not happened.
But so, in his recent address, he did say that, well, bring up all of those reports. It's time to implement them.
Well, let's hope that we'll do that this time, because we have been, this thing has been happening. He has been president for more than a year. People say it's just 100 days, 100 days. He has been president since Yaradua died.
Maybe since elected.
Since elected, I mean, he was president. He was president all that time. I mean, what has happened since?
So you think he should have made much more mark?
Well, I mean, yeah, of course, much more. Okay. He hasn't been president for 100 days. He's been president for over a year.
There you go. Look at this. It just pops up now. The bill for the establishment of a university for Nigeria Police Force will be tabled before the House of Representatives today. Well, we talked about the police, reforming the police, and then you see this. So, how coincidental can this be?
University for the police force?
Yeah.
We will keep creating institutions upon institutions upon institutions everywhere. I think the president says he wants to build how many more universities? Six more universities. So, I mean, the universities we have, even at the moment, they cannot sustain any level of infrastructure. I have no problem with establishing more universities if you're able to put more money into the universities. The state of our universities today is so terrible. The graduates that come out with first class or second class upper could well be high school graduates. The way the kind of English they write, everyone will know that they virtually buy their degrees. They use all kind of language like sorting and so on and so forth. You don't want to fail that class, so you get money around to give to the professor, the lecturer, and so on and so forth. So it's the same kind of malaise that is coming out to security. We are a nation without standards. And where there are no standards, everything is bound to collapse. That is what George Bush calls the soft bigotry of low expectation. Everything goes. And when everything goes, you can say, okay, you want university for police? Get university for police. What are the standards? Are you going to get the personnel? What do you expect to get from that university? Nobody knows. But some of these things make you think that Nigeria is just a simple racket. Somebody wants the university because he knows that when there's a university, they are going to buy land, they are going to build, they are going to construct buildings. There's a lot of money to go around. Some contractors are going to be gleeful. A lot of people will now be mouths to be watering over the deals, over buying equipment to start the thing. And maybe the university may not take off in the next 5 years. There's not a lot of time to revise budgets, to do variations and things, and so on and so forth. So this is the kind of thing that goes on for a country that is not planned, a country where there are no standards.
Isn't that corruption?
And there are no values. Oh, that's what I mean.
But how do we begin to solve all these problems? It just seems bigger by the day.
It gets bigger by the day because we need somebody who understands that this is a nation in perennial emergency. We don't have that sense that this is a nation in perennial emergency. And that is why every day and every minute we keep talking about the fact that the currency is not where it should be. More and more people are living just by the day. The healthcare system has collapsed. All the elite go abroad to do body checks and treatments, while the poor, some of them die just because they cannot afford 1,000 naira of medication.
Okay.
And when they can buy 1,000 naira of medication, it's probably fake, makes them sick, and they will need probably 100,000 to take care of the damage of the 1,000 naira that they probably borrowed.
I don't know how.
That's like the last statement of dead body get accident.